do not have to worry about having a good weapon, as you just use your fists instead. So for League starting and for SSF, this build is perfect.
My
It
dream
has
has come
consistently
true.
high damage throughout the campaign,
Yes!
and thanks to its freeze
Is the fact that, like, I mean, seeing a lot of D4 videos, and I played the entire Lord Hatred expansion on Penitent my first time, a top-down RPG, and you know, I'm sure you saw the video that said end, meaning you know, I'm not really gonna be playing that game anymore, and I didn't really give a reason. I kind of just like upload the video and then just bounce the fuck out, right? So yeah, I mean, there are several of like PS5 bugs on there that are in the video. So if you go back to the stream and watch the videos, I literally bookmarked and made chapters on all, I think, where all the bugs are at in the last streams. So you can go there and watch that at your leisure. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. The bug thing happened, and then apparently, you know, I got a friend. They're not really YouTube streaming people, so I'm not gonna say their real name, but I'll tell you like their alias, General Sal and Atlas. More for General Sal, who told me yesterday, and he's a long-term player of the game. Like he's been playing the game for years, all 10 seasons, even the old Diablo games. So even as a child, knows the ins and outs of all the mechanics. And he kind of just shared that, like, you know, game went down, you know what I mean? And, you know, it's not really worth playing. They did a lot of things that I don't understand because, like I said, this was my first time playing, but apparently this latest season just kind of took a lot of people out. And then people jumped to PoE 2 recently. And this was before I even got frustrated with them, and then with all the PS5 stuff and the bugs and having to do certain stuff to, you know, reset the campaign, skip the campaign, it still didn't work. And, you know, apparently it's been an ongoing issue for 2 years that people have been saying the PS5 has been, and it's only the PS5 version. So a lot of people are dipping off, is what it is. For now, let me get to the reason, like, you know, the good thing about it. You know, this is not like me like hating Blizzard or talking shit about Blizzard or whatever. That's not it. When I played through Lord Hatred, and you know, my first experience, other than playing just the base game once on World Tier 2, like 3 years ago, and my first ever experience in this genre, when I did Lord Hatred, it was a 10 out of 10 cinema. There was nothing, even though I'm frustrated with the game of D4 and what I experienced with the PS5 bugs, and then, you know, apparently this new season didn't help anything. The season just kind of came and knocked everybody off their fucking rockers, as it should, because the changes are crazy. I can't say anything negative about Lord Hatred.
Final S tier ascendancy, Titan. All warrior ascendancies are pretty self-explanatory. Defensive options and scaling energy shield. Also in 0.3, we're getting a new keystone on the normal passive tree called Hollow Palm Technique, which allows you to use staff skills with your fists. Hollow Palm is located in the Monk's 3, we're getting a new keystone on the normal passive tree called Hollow Palm Technique, which allows you to use staff skills with your fists. Hollow Palm is located in the Monks region, so
Hollow
expect
Palm.
to see a lot of Invoker
Dude, now
builds.
that right there, really. I actually need to do a little bit more research on this. I believe you said like what Hollow Palm, because that seems like super legit. But yeah, so right here is what I've been talking about. So this screenshot right here, the Reborn and the Involved mode. So like you can see on this side. The Reborn mode, you know, so you have Rampart, Reprisal, Arm's Length, Provoke, Shrink, Interject, Low Blow, I think that's Shield Lob, Ground Down is, I think it's Total Eclipse, Circle of Scorn, Holy Circle, Ball Rock, Sentinel Guardian, Divine Veil, Hollow Ground, you know, that's probably like, the 3 attacks Can't think of them, but Fight or Flight. You know what I mean? So like that's a lot covered at the end. And you can see how like that's how my hotbar set up on console. I have it above. But look at the Evolve mode where you're taking all of these on Reborn and just putting them all structured. The finding the main and off tank roles. This is crazy because, you know, like I said, for years, you know, main casual content, off tank, main tank didn't matter. Extreme, Savage, Ultimate, it did matter. I believe most of the main tanks were like Paladins, as you can probably see in 8.0, that's what's going to be. Or I think another main tank was I don't think maybe Gunbreaker. I thought Dark Knight was more of an off tank, I want to say, just because like he didn't have a lot of mitigation to be alive. And you know, the main tank is taking like most of the damage of all the auto cleaves and stuff. And then in harder content, or just later on in Shadowbringers and above, some of the trials and raids will hit you with like 2 tank busters, so on each of the tanks, depending on what you're doing. But it's kind of crazy how they put Warrior, Dark Knight, and Gunbreaker all as off tank, you know. And then whatever this new tank is, so pretty much there's going to be only 2 main tanks. But well, maybe I'm thinking about it the wrong way, because can you switch it on the, because like what if like there's like 2 Dark Knights in a group? Will it just like default somebody to the main tank? Or how does that work? In closing, in the stream, we pretty much got everything down. So let's just recap on my plans. My plans, I mean, is eventually we're gonna be playing some Chrono Cross. That's what I'm focusing on now. I'll probably record some boss fights for y'all. It's a very old JRPG. I might stream it at one point if you guys just want to see the raw gameplay with all the, you know, there's no voice acting, turn-based combat, but definitely boss footage is coming. I think it'd be pretty cool to try to record that in any way, shape, or form. Either it be on here, or it would just be on my PS5 Pro with my voice, or even just the raw gameplay with intro and outro. I want to upload that boss footage for y'all, so you can just view it. As far as PoE 2, I'm gonna dabble. You know what I mean? I like the game a lot. I like the game better in D4. Very known. I expressed this to my friends plenty of times, but now that they added Monk, that's what I'm playing. I am playing the Evoker Monk using Hollow Palm with my fist. I think that's the coolest shit ever. It kind of fits into what I'm going to try in Monster Wilds. I'm going to play Akuma. Great stuff. Can't beat it. You know what I mean? And then after that, you know, I'm going to dive into some more stuff. I mean, there's still like Tales of Arise. There's still some Star Ocean games I want to go back and complete. The one they remade, Second Story. Yeah, Second Story. Metaphor. You know, Persona 3 Reloaded. Yakuza games. Judgment. Cyberpunk, Witcher. There's a lot of stuff on my backlog. Oh, Dragon's Dogma. FF Tactics. So you can see random shit anytime. You know, and I think that's a great thing. I also have been thinking about Elden Ring a lot too, to do a redemption run on that. So yeah, I mean, so that's the update. That's my future plans. Now let's end with the involvement with FF14. This is great. There's nothing like, I can't believe what's happening. I heard about it. I got very basic information before they actually uploaded the footage, Yoshi P and his team. But now that they actually talk more about it, this is going to be an epic fucking change. Not just for consolidating your buttons. No. Way further than that. You know what I mean? I'm talking like classes have been just Consolidation, yes. Skills, 2 skills can do the same thing. Interject, Lobo, like I said. Holy Spirit, Clemency. Dragoon has gotten way more badass. Bard has gotten better too. I'm sure all the rest are going to follow suit. Dragoon, Sky High. Literally, you can wait in the air and then drop counters. Counterattacks. Where you actually have to press the button at the time the enemy attacks you. Now, an issue that people can find with this is maybe lag. You can have some latency issues, but that happens to every online game that you play that has a reactionary type style. So FF14 has good servers though, so if you're lagging, it's probably your own Wi-Fi. It's not really the server, if I'm being honest with you. But the fact that you can do that and implement that now in FF14 and get an active counter off is fucking fantastic. They still kept positionals. You can move around the enemy. This creates for players who don't want to just stand in one spot. They took away cast times for healing, and it seems like they're reducing cast times. I can't say all of it, but most of the classes have just reduced cast times. So that makes for more fast, fluid, engaging gameplay. The other things they touched on before the main tanking is the synergy thing. Like I said, that doesn't bother me at all. If you want, you can dive more into that, but that's fine to me. There's another thing that didn't really bother me. I do know that they're increasing the capacity of servers, and more data centers, I believe, are going to be available. So when you're in Duty Finder, I think it's going to pull from more centers. So then even if you're like in a server, I guess is how it works. I'm not too positive on this one because I only saw one video on this a while back. But I believe that if you're like in a server that's not very populated, it'll still pull from like the populated ones, and you should still be able to queue up. So this should help with queue times, especially if you're playing DPS. Queue times, not really a factor if you're a tank or healer. It'll probably stay that way in this game. Another thing is, yeah, like General Sal said, off tank, that sounds pretty cool. You got main tank and you have off tank abilities. Not abilities, but now it's going to be centered around those two. No more just going into a dungeon and being like, oh, who's gonna tank? Who's gonna off tank? No. We know that Paladin and the new tank are going to be the main tanks, according to my information I saw in that video. We know that Dark Knight, Gunbreaker, and Warrior are centered to be off tanks. And one is gonna be about, I think it says countering and then maybe taking the damage, I would assume. Other one's more about lowering and helping the allies, the strength. They kind of want to put a separation there, but I think it's very, very fucking good. I think that's a great change. You know what I mean? I think healing is going to be far more approachable now. Everything consolidated, no more cast times. You know what I mean? A little more exciting to play. You know, hopefully this brings more players into healing. I think everything is fucking great. And this is no small change. These are very, very big changes that for the past 10 years, I believe the YouTuber said himself, the past 10 years, personally, that we've seen the same shit and now we're not. So yeah, this is a big expansion. Very, very big. Comes out in January. So you pretty much have what we're in May. You got June, July, August, September, October, November, December. You have like 7 months to catch up to current content, which is more than enough time if you actually do want to play FF14 and be current. You got a lot of time. You know what I mean? I don't really need that much time because I'm already at in-game Dawntrail. But nevertheless, I will definitely be returning to FF14. Definitely pretty soon. My goal was November, because November, December, January, I should be done with post-game Dawntrail and being caught up with current MSQ. Or I can even take a step back and do October, because the changes are that damn good. But the one thing that I do want to emphasize is that I will still, you know, be playing different stuff. I don't want to fall behind, because FF14, you fall behind, you're kind of progging for like 200 hours. You know what I mean? Maybe 175 hours. It takes from ARR to the probably in-game Dawn Trail into the post-game can be about 3-4 hours of MSQ of story to get through, saying that you don't skip all cutscenes and you actually want to enjoy the game, you know, and you don't story skip. So yeah, I mean, a lot of things excited for the future. One thing I do want to throw out there is I do want to do like a heavy rain playthrough at one point, because I think it's a great game. I haven't played a game in a long time. Or Detroit Become Human, and also Catherine. Catherine is a game people don't even know about, so that could be interesting. Without further ado, I appreciate anyone who came in on this test stream and, you know, chat up a little bit, kind of saw what was going on. Nevertheless, I think it's gonna it. That will be it for the stream. One thing I would say, this stream will be uploaded to YouTube, well, under the live section, but I will be chopping this video up into different parts, you know, depending on if it was PoE, FF14, the different modes, you know, so you'll see it probably like in sections, you know what I mean? So no problem, no biggie. And yeah, guess that's it.
What? Are you for real? We can't live
Well,
without them. I knew I
whatever
should've trusted
happens,
my movie agent.
happens.